Be careful. You might learn something.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to the Factual Opinions Podcast with your hosts. I am Pharaoh. Straight facts.
Welcome back, world. This is Factual Opinions Podcast, Season 5, Episode 20. We're calling it Rise Above. I think because all of us have some situations that we need to rise above currently, and I can be honest and forthright and let public know playoffs. Listen, the devil has been full force playoff mode coming after me the past week. He has been going into overtime coming after me. I'm trying not to let him win. First of all, I want to get into a couple things. So it's your host, I am Pharaoh, checking in with the Brown, Bruce Wayne, Big John.
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best Nate.
You know it.
And G Money, the head coach of the varsity boys basketball Schroeder team, Will Johnson in the house. So first and foremost, I want to dedicate this episode to my lovely mother who came home from the hospital yesterday after her surgery was successful last week. She had spinal fusion surgery to alleviate some pain that she's been dealing with the past 2 or 3 years, really. So I want to tell my mom I love her, appreciate her, wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world, even when she get on my nerves. But I'm so glad that she pulled through as I knew she would. Also want to take time to give a shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes family as we lost Buckeyes legend, former All-American and New York Jets legendary center Nick Mangold died at the age of 41 due to kidney disease. He was also nominated.
I did not know he was that young, dude.
Yeah, he was only a few years older than us.
He a year older than me.
Yeah. Is nominated this year actually for the Pro Football Hall of Fame first year in 2026. So
he'll probably get in.
He probably will. 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro, like I said, All American at Ohio State. Nick Mangold, before I get away from this subject, was a pillar for the New York Jets and the Ohio State Buckeyes. For those that don't know, he was part of the first recruiting class for Jim Tressel in 2002 after he became the head coach following the 2001 season. I want to highlight this because this was an amazing, legendary class. Nick Mangold was, again, a freshman who won a national championship in 2002 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. But his incoming freshman class that he was part of in 2002 included himself, Nick Mangold, the great Maurice Clarett, future Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, A.J. Hawk, and future Heisman Trophy winner Troy Smith, among others.
A.J. Hawk did a great – he did a great – not to take you off. He did a great job today on Pat McAfee, giving him his condolences and basically telling a little story about him, which he did a great job today. I ain't gonna hold you.
But there were others that were part of that class that contributed to, like Nate Sally and a few other guys. But I want you to just think about the guys that I named that was part of that recruiting class. That's pretty dope, man, to all be part of that class. So shout out to Nick Mangold. But we'll get into more Buckeyes talk later. I want to talk, because we don't talk about music as much as we used to on here. I actually didn't watch it, so I'm going to have to lean on other people. But I heard that No Limit won.
For sure. For sure.
Will looked up what I said that. Did you watch it, Will? Did you have an opinion on it? What happened?
To finish it, exactly what I said was going to happen. Dipset versus Locks, the Southern version.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what it was. The Southern version
Dipset
of it.
versus Locks, Southern version.
And the crazy thing about it is, Will, he ain't had to say too much.
And
that's what made it even worse. P ain't had to say too much.
And what I don't like is everybody keeps saying if Wayne was there, it would have been different. It would have been more entertaining. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think people are getting Young Money confused with Cash Money.
For sure.
Ooh.
A lot of those
They are.
songs that they thought were going to be included, I don't believe were going to be included. Like, I think
He got a Millie. He got that old Carter. He got that whole Carter 2 or Carter 3. No, he got whole Carter 2s on Cash Money.
no, they all on Cash Money, but that's when he started using other producers and everything. I think Carter 1 is like the last, to me,
Makes sense.
Cash Money of that era that we grew up with, right? And I mean, it would have been close. Like if they would have went to 20, it would have been.
It might have been closer if they'd have did 20. No. You're right. You're absolutely correct. Never mind.
Listen, I just don't think people realize what No Limit and Master P and them was for us in our youth. I don't think people understand.
I do.
We'll tell them they wasn't at everybody records every Tuesday. They wasn't there every Tuesday.
No Limit was the official soundtrack of Madisonville. I'm just throwing that out there. Nate no. I'm sure there's some other hoods that would try to make that claim, but I got receipts on why No Limit was the official soundtrack to Madisonville. But go ahead.
And it was a lot of things. Like, I don't think people really understand. Like, Master P was great for shouting out those small market cities. So he will always be embedded in that culture from us.
He loves Cincinnati, and I'll tell that story later on why he always shout out Cincinnati.
Like
he was on the Chitlin circuit too.
Yeah, us, Louisville, all of those cities in the Midwest, like he shouted us out. So we always gonna have love for that. And if we really being honest, No Limit music aged better.
It did.
Like
it was a hustler. They had the hustler side of music.
Yeah, like it aged
the
better.
Gritty, the down in the gutter. You got to go get it. We ain't talking about no hating. We all about the grind and the money. We talking about being active out here, getting to it.
400 Degrees might be one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of mine too.
Degrees, the song is one of my favorite songs ever. Man, when they played No Limit Soldiers right after 400 Degrees, man, 400 Degrees sounded like a nursery rhyme.
Man, it sounded terrible.
I said, yeah, it's gonna be a long day.
And let me say this, Will. Shout out to the biggest mama. Because Mama Mia held it down.
Okay.
That whole verses, bro.
So even though I didn't watch it and I'm relying on you guys on the comments that I've seen, over the weekend and stuff, because I was, taking care of Mom Dukes and making sure she was okay. Here's the thing. The one comment I saw to piggyback on what you just said. Why, and I've talked about this on here before on Factual Opinions podcast. Why are people surprised? Mia X was one of those MCs that I always listed when you say somebody that never missed, somebody that's never gonna come with a whack verse. Like she's up there with Styles P, Biggie, where it's like Big Pun, you've never heard them come whack on a track. Like, so that's not surprising to flash back to what she used to do consistently, to me at least.
So let me say this as well. Don't get me wrong. Juvie tried to hold it for so long. But when you're going against the biggest mama, you're going against Fiend, you got all these tracks, and then and you know what else messed it up, Will?
What up?
When they brought Chopper Son out. And he performed Chopper Style.
Yeah, Chopper Style. Hey, look, I forgot about Chopper Style.
Yeah,
did they do tight whips?
No. Hey, look.
Do tight whips?
Every time I was like, I promise. You could ask Willie, you could ask Clint, you could ask Josh. Every time I was ready to say, okay, Cash Money got this round. No. Bro, when they play slow motion, I was like, all right.
They got one.
And then No Limit follow up what I can tell. Like, bro, it's over, bro.
You be forgetting.
Hey, listen.
Bro, the only thing that we was missing was Sons of Funk, bro. That was the only thing we was missing.
That's what I'm saying. They could have went deeper into the bag. People keep saying, man, they should have brung out Lil Wayne. I say, listen, both labels was missing their MVP.
Yeah.
Because No Limit was missing Mystical.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm talking about I'm not comparing Mystical career to Lil Wayne's career. Before that
Them
era
hit makers,
and that era of Cash Money,
the hit makers.
bro, they was the MVP. They was the ones like you wanted to hear Mystical on the song, like
Yeah,
but it was
from somebody getting
a surprise.
I mean, it was a
from
celebration in New Orleans, and I will definitely at some point go back and watch it because I feel upset that I didn't. But
oh, you missed one. This was
no, I
the
mean from
one.
from the recaps and what I heard, it pretty much went down the way I figured it would because we're talking about two legendary, iconic labels that are you can't tell the story of hip hop without mentioning
Neither
either.
one of them.
Nope.
So it's more of a celebration, but I thought that No Limit was way more important than some people realized also. And I felt like that would probably take place during the verses. So it sounds like that's what happened. But I had to throw that in there. Like the biggest Mamma Mia, like I was just shocked for people to like
To
come
not
back and
to not realize
yeah,
how
like
big
I
she was.
man, I forgot how
Like, are
dope
y'all
Mia X
tripping?
was. Like, what?
She's still considered probably top 2 female rappers of all time.
It's,
Still.
Like
it's
I put Mamma Mia up there with. I mean, it ain't even got to be just female rappers. Like I'm talking about rappers in general.
Yeah.
Like when she hop on the track, you know what it is.
but that's for people who really what I realize is that the younger generation don't know anything about No Limit.
Nope.
I blame that on our generation for not teaching them that. But then I just think that people really forgot because Cash Money is more recognizable and more known. Their longevity, they'd have had a longer uh, longevity than No Limit from a popular point of view. So I think a lot of people just looked at it like, oh yeah.
Have they though? Because you made the distinction earlier about Young Money and Cash Money.
But everybody equate when you hear Cash Money or you hear Young Money, you think of Lil Wayne and Baby.
They go straight to
So
Wayne.
you go straight to Wayne.
And
So
I heard Wayne was actually in
He was
Vegas,
actually in Vegas. Yep.
which made it even more ominous that his presence was not.
I think him and Baby still ain't they still not square. I think Baby still owe money, to be honest.
hey, listen, Lil Wayne is a Libra. He's very, very stubborn, and yet he's passive aggressive. They ain't cool, bro.
Nah, at all.
You ain't gonna hear a word out of his
At
mouth. He
all.
gonna continue to move how he move. Yeah, him showing up like his how he feel was in him not showing up.
You want to know how bad it was? He met BG and Juvie after that, and Silk the Shocker was with them. So that lets you know the passive aggressiveness when it comes
I'm
to
gonna
that
get off
person.
Silk in a second. Big John, because you've been kind of quiet, man. What's your take on the Cash Money? No Limit.
I didn't watch it. I'm in the same boat as you, but I didn't watch it. But I kind of felt like it
But
was
as a
going to be like.
fan,
But as a fan, I kind of felt it would be that way, especially when your biggest gun isn't there. Like what he say, Harlem Nights. I know you're supposed to be a bad man, but they got 100 guns. You got one gun. Like so, it was gonna be that way. And but like you said, people fail to realize the importance of what No Limit had for that era, and also like when we lost the two-headed monster, when we lost Big and Pac, like P kind of just stepped in and just
He took
put all that
over.
on his shoulders. So it was kind of people forgot that importance of that time frame. Like you couldn't in that time frame when we was that age, you couldn't go nowhere without hearing a No Limit song. You couldn't turn on the TV without seeing a video. You know
well,
how
P was
long?
dropping an album every week. At one
He
point.
was
Like,
dropping. Al, you just touched the point I was getting ready to touch. He was dropping a album in No Limit Records every week. Skullduggery,
bro,
Mac, Mia
how many
X,
times?
Silk the Shocker,
How many
True.
times did you see that same video make them say on BET? How many months and weeks was that video on BET to the point where every time I turn it on, I got tired of seeing like, oh, this shit again.
It was
Like,
a full year, bro. It was a full year.
Like, bro, like
It was a full year that video was playing.
Hey, listen,
like,
man.
bro, that green jersey, them Negroes hopping around. How many times did you turn on BET and see that? So it's like people really
I don't
forgot
know.
the
That song
importance.
never get old to me still to this day.
No, I'm not
So
talking about the song getting old, but it's like, bro, you want to see some new music on BET or something like it was the same
And you could
song.
tell, hold on, y'all. Y'all could tell in this verses, Baby was in his feelings. And P shut him down after all the talk he was talking about being the number one stunner. He said, you started this stunner. I've been started this. I'm about it. And he dropped, I'm about it. I said, yeah, this over now. It's a wrap. It's over.
Birdman been in his
It's
feelings
over.
for a while, but I do, as we wrap up, talk on that because we definitely have plenty of sports to get to. I want to talk about P, who has always showed love to Cincinnati for a number of reasons. One, because Rio recognized Rio, and if you are, from the hood or hustle like P or whatever, you respect it. I remember Tony Yayo talking about Cincinnati as one of them places where you got to be careful when you come and just flat out respecting, the city when you come through. But P told a story back in the day when he was, as Nate called it, on the Chitlin circuit and when he wasn't that big yet, he was traveling with the great Tupac Shakur. And Pac was letting P open up for him. And one of the
Mhm.
spots was here in Cincinnati where Pac was supposed to open for P. And Pac, being who he was, for whatever reason, who's is somebody's phone giving that feedback
Nah, it's
right now?
probably my furnace.
Okay. Pac was telling us, well, P was telling the story about how Pac was traveling with him, and Pac said, "Yeah, I'll let you open up for me." And one of the spots was Cincinnati, and Pac was macking to some dude's girl on the side. And in true Cincinnati fashion, it don't take much to get,
That happened at the Ritz.
Cincinnati dudes to act Cincinnati-ish, shall we say. Dude gave him a warning. He was like, "Yo," because he was probably a fan. He's like, "Yo, Pac, this is my girl. Need you to chill. Fall back." Pac being who he was, all right, bruh. Keep macking to his girl. So you know what happened. A few minutes later. Pop, 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 pop. So, and this is P's words. Pac gets on a plane and leaves Cincinnati instantly. Pac's not doing the show. P stays, does his set, and crowd loves him. So he always had special love for Cincinnati because he felt like they showed him love before he was famous and before he became,
I'll give you
P.
some more history on that episode. So my cousin was at the club that night. He said that was fresh after P had just did the little DVD movie, the world famous movie. As we know, as I'm about it. He had just did that. He had just dropped that. For some reason, that movie spread like wildfire on the Chitlin circuit and was in Cincinnati. So that's the real reason when Pac was supposed to perform that time, P stayed because he had found out that they had knew about his I'm About It movie. So that explains why every time P came to Cincinnati, he stayed a few days. He did his runarounds. He had everybody else do his runarounds. So that's really the reason behind I'm About It being so big in Cincinnati because it spread from the South all the way up here. Which a lot
Ken
of people, you
said
got to remember, a
Carter.
lot of people from Georgia got family. All the people in Cincinnati, damn near got everybody. Everybody got family in Atlanta and Georgia and
Yeah,
Alabama. So
yeah.
you go down there, hey bro, watch this movie. This shit funny and it's cool. Lo and behold, it travels. So that's how that got big. That's how P got big as well here. So I just
Ken
want to
said
put
Wayne
that.
only got Carter 1, Carter 2 on the cast when everything else is under Young Wayne. I thought that the block is hot and
Yeah, the block is hot
was
was
it
under the
500
cash money.
degrees.
Yeah, all of that. Like block is hot, 500 degrees, lights
Lights
out.
out.
Carter 1, all of that is cash money. Carter 2 and up, that's something else.
Brother Chris, hang around, man. We're gonna get to your favorite coach, Zac Taylor, in a hot second, man.
But just to conclude this cash money versus no limit. I've been said no limit will go in. I've been said that. Said it a while. Been said it a while ago. Big John, didn't I say it a while ago? I said it a while ago.
Yeah, you
I
did.
think it was dope that it was the first like record label versus record label instead of artist versus
You can't
artist.
do artist versus artist with no limit of cash money. And you got to think it was a little beef because of UNLV.
You know me, I wish we could do a Bad Boy versus Death Row, but that would never
That would
happen,
never happen
especially
ever.
now. Especially
convicts.
now. Yeah, well. Sean Combs, hold your head, brother. So, Will, it does not affect you, okay? I said it. There's nothing that's gonna come back on you.
I didn't say nothing, man.
If you need me to throw the disclaimer out there, goodness, brother.
Hey, nah, bro, don't feel bad, bro. A Diddy and Justin Bieber song came up on my iPod on my playlist today, and I was rocking out to it in the gym, man.
You said a who?
Diddy and Justin-
All right.
hey, that song is a
Okay.
classic. I don't care what nobody say.
Okay. Diddy and Justin Bieber. Okay.
I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. I ain't even.
That's why I
I ain't
played
about to
the
go.
end of that
I ain't going
victory.
this route
That's
with y'all.
why I
I ain't.
played the end of that victory song the other day on my status. It's all effed up now. Huh? What I'm supposed to do? I don't know either, pup. So moving on from that. I know Chris, man. Will is the king of one-liners, man. But so moving on to the NFL and getting into Cincinnati Bengals talk. One, I do want to come on the air, make it known that I was wrong about my prospects or the prospecting of what Joe Flacco would add. Now, I said only for him being 40 years old. I'm still going to say I don't know what Jameis Winston would or wouldn't have done because he wasn't given the opportunity. But as far as Joe Flacco, what I did say, and he's proven, is based on his time in the NFL and the success that he's had, there wasn't going to be anything that an NFL defense could throw at him that he hasn't already seen. And as long as he had the physical capability of getting the job done, that he would be all right. Because to quote Joe Flacco himself, if you can't get on the same page with these two guys, speaking of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, two best wide receivers he's ever played with, then what are we doing? So I agree with that. So I didn't think that Flacco had anything left, but he's obviously proved that he does. Now, Tony Bray got on here, and after the Bengals played the Steelers, which I was there for, live on Thursday night a few weeks ago, and they won. Uh, Highlighted by Jamar Chase's 16 catch, performance, and Joe Flacco playing out of his mind, throwing for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And his asinine comment was, "I wonder if Alex is going to give credit to Zac Taylor and DJ Turner." And I'm like, so you watched that game and you came away with Zac Taylor and DJ Turner as the main contributors to why they beat the Steelers. Okay. I expect nothing less from a fan of that team up north, number one. Number two, that wasn't my takeaway. Now, my question for him would be, so how much blame does Zac Taylor and DJ Turner get for Sunday's performance? I've consistently said, and we got people like, shout out to brother Montez Sorrells, the Pounce podcast and everything. I noticed he likes videos of people that come on and give commentary to the Bengals for stuff that I said 3 and 4 weeks ago, 2 and 3 years ago. I guess I got to put some fancy background in the background of my video or put the stadium in the background to make people like it more. But I've already said what people were regurgitating and just now coming to the light saying. Zac Taylor, let me repeat this again. I did it got like 300 views on Instagram, not as much as I thought it should have got. But let me repeat this again. I have been on record saying that Zac Taylor was never qualified to be the Bengals head coach to
Not
begin
at
with
all.
in 2019. And
No.
that they were winning in spite of, not because of, and Joe Burrow is the messiah of Cincinnati Bengals football and covered up a lot of holes. Now, I had people such as my brother, and I love him, Will Johnson, who consistently defended Zac Taylor. I don't even want to get into it. I want y'all to talk about it today. Will, you take the form. You explain why you now are on board and believe that Zac Taylor needs to go. The floor is yours.
I was a Zac Taylor supporter.
Oh, you was.
I was.
Oh, okay. All right.
I recall a bunch of episodes ago that I said if Zac don't get it done this year, he's gonna be fired. I had Zac fired after the first 2 weeks of the season. So
You did.
I had him fired early. But the reason why I feel is this: I just feel like at certain points as a coach, like when you go into a season, you look at your schedule. You don't take no team lightly, but you look at games that you should win, games that you better win, and you circle a couple of games that's going to be a dogfight, right? The Jets was a game that he was supposed to win. The defense played horrific. Like, the defense was horrible. The offense looked good from the second half of Green Bay all the way up to the final 2 drives against the Jets.
Poor clock management.
First of all, when
Clock management.
When the score was 38-32, it seemed like he came out in that drive and forgot. Like,
Ken, he's not even a quarterback coach. My bad. Go ahead.
The previous touchdown, y'all was running the ball at will. Why did you come out and throw the ball 3 times?
And your guy, not to cut you off, Will, your guy who I'm always very critical of, actually looked good. That was the first time outside of that by design screen pass that he caught in the AFC Championship where nobody touched him at all, and me and John got into an argument about that. Did he actually look good? Because the way you were about Jermaine Pratt, I always was about Samaje Perine. Like, what does he do good?
Nah. Perine, but he doesn't look good with Flacco in the lineup. Like I said, like he done did his job. Even against Pittsburgh, he didn't get as many carries as he did against the Jets, but he kept getting positive yards running the ball.
They should have been able to salt away that game. And I'm telling you that goes back on Zac Taylor for the way he managed the end of the game. Now, I gave him credit a few weeks ago on our last episode about the way he managed the Pittsburgh, the end of that scenario, making them burn all their timeouts, leaving them with nothing left, letting Money Mac go out there and do his thing. The way he sifted through the clock and gave the Jets, well, first of all, let's go back. The Jets were 0-7. I want to say this. People like my dude Cam will get mad at me for saying this. I did not obviously want the Jets to win. But
there's a black coach over there.
That's number one, because they already talking about getting rid of Aaron Glenn in year 1 unfairly. And they were quarterbacked by the second greatest quarterback in the Ohio State football history, and Justin Fields, who has unfairly received a lot of blame this year too, who I think did a hell of a job, especially without Garrett Wilson and his other top wide receiver, out there.
He did that with a team full of rookies.
He did that without his top 2 targets. So I'm not happy that the Jets won, but it's hard for me watching what's going on over there. But I say that to say that the Bengals still had no business losing that game, and that's why everybody's upset. That's why I'm upset.
Hey, Big John. Yes. The next time the Bengals play the Jets, and I don't put no money on the Jets.
Yeah, this is your second year in a row doing that,
bro. When they played Mike White,
I don't know why.
No, I'm so listen. I'm so serious. Me and John was in the gym, and the Bengals were playing good, and the Jets came in with kind of like the similar record. I looked at Big John. I said, "Bro, I'm putting money on the Jets this weekend." He like, "Bro, there's no way they're gonna lose to the Jets." I was like, "Bro, it's the Bengals. They gonna lose to the Jets."
Mike White came in
and and they lost. So
Isn't
look,
Mike White on our practice squad now?
no, they cut him. They cut him for Flacco.
Okay. Well,
But-
brother Chris, you're right. It was absolutely, and
Yeah.
that's the point I was making. But see, that all goes back on Zach. There's nobody else to blame.
That time with the Jets. I just thought about that.
There's nobody else to blame in that scenario with clock management, and you as the play caller who refuses to give up play calling duties. That all comes back on him. Now, I just felt like as a team, they kind of let their foot off the gas, especially when they went up, 2 scores with about 4-5 minutes left. I think they thought it was over, and the Jets obviously didn't feel like it was over, and they kept playing football.
Yeah, the boys should have been gone last year, and I know that's what head coaches do to say.
Brother Clarence in the house.
I know that's what head coaches
do
to save their jobs, but he made Sweet Lou the scapegoat. It wasn't him. It was you, my guy. You should have been gone. Now,
We know it wasn't
clearly
Lou.
not
7-1 in Indy. We know it wasn't
clearly not Lou Anarumo. Just looking at the Colts. Now I tell you what else though I like with the Indianapolis Colts. Now we're gonna get back to the Bengals. I just want to throw this in there. So Mr. Irsay's daughter, who took over the team when he passed this offseason, has anybody seen what she does that's a little bit different?
She on the sideline and she taking notes.
And she said verbatim, if I'm paying somebody millions of dollars, I need to make sure that they're not full of BS and they know what they're talking about. And not only is she on the sideline taking notes, she has a headset on.
Amen.
Hearing the play.
It's not even necessarily about the football part, because she's even admitted that she, it's very complex and there's some parts of that she don't. But she wants to make sure that the people that she has in place and that she's now paying money know what they're doing.
Amen.
Somebody else might need to do that.
No, the Bengals. Y'all said that you said that the defense left the foot off the. No, the defense looked horrible.
They're trash.
After the first drive, when they got the stop on 4th down, from that moment on, the defense. Listen, the defense was terrible. The defense was horrible.
Nobody tried to argue with me about that.
Nobody.
Brother Chris said Lakers at 5. It don't matter if it's Mark Sanchez, Mike White.
Yes. No, serious though. Like this.
The defense was horrible. What I'm saying is, Zach. I know that's what head coaches do. They, they blame their coordinators for their, what happens in them losing their records. But what I'm saying is, he made Lou the scapegoat. He should have been.
No. I agree with that. No, everything.
That's everybody agree with that.
I'm disagreeing with Alex when he said that the whole team took the foot off the gas. No, the defense was horrible after the first drive. The defense couldn't stop anything. They couldn't get a key 3rd down, 4th down, 2-point convert. They did not make a key play all game. Like all game, they didn't make a key play. I'm sorry, man. Like, and Zach got to go off of the strength of just off the strength at this point, bro. Like,
I said that Zach should have left when he began his career with the 3rd worst coaching percentage in NFL history.
Hey, listen, it's hard to get rid of a coach after they go to the Super Bowl, then followed up with an AFC championship that they should have won if the refs made a decent call. And a Super Bowl that they should have won if Tyler Boyd don't drop that the only pass he dropped all season, he dropped it in the Super Bowl. If he don't drop that
was pretty egregious because we would have went up 2 scores, and then the whole Logan Wilson phantom pass interference call wouldn't have mattered at that point.
I still watch that play, and I'm trying to figure out where the hell Logan Wilson was.
But the problem is that when you don't have your stars, and when things ain't going ideal, how do you bring your players together in order to win a game? And Zach hasn't consistently done that.
He ain't done it at all.
He hasn't consistently done that. I mean, I gave him credit when Burrow was out and they was winning with Brownie. They won a couple of games with Brownie. You blame Brownie.
Yeah, there was nothing at stake with that. That was another point that Tony had brought up about, 2 years ago, because he didn't play last year, 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and his record with him. But I'm like, that's almost like talking about how at one point Shane Graham was the most accurate kicker of all time when it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You put fire under his butt, he was gonna shank it. There's nothing about 2 years ago when they went 9-8 again or something, and there was nothing at play. And I agree with what Brother Chris just said. It baffles me. People find a reason to blame the offense, saying they targeted Jamar Chase so many times they put up 38. I said the same thing last year. There were so many games where Burrow put up over 30 points, particularly at home, and they still find a way to lose the
To
game.
give up the game.
Like, that can't happen. But these are the same deficiencies on the defensive side that we notated and said were there at the beginning of the season. Nothing changed. All we were hoping is that, again, the magic of Joe Burrow would overcome some of this and save us.
You know what? Zach has to go, but there's one person that should go before. Like, if you ask me who should be the first person from the Bengals organization to be fired, starting with Duke Tobin. He got to go first.
Is Duke Tobin even a real GM, though? Like,
I don't
honestly,
care what he is. He doesn't need to be associated. He makes the picks. They need to.
does he?
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
He makes the picks.
I think Mike Brown is still picking draft picks and just passing it to Duke Tobin.
Mike Brown ain't doing nothing with the Bengals. I'm telling you. Duke Tobin got to be the first person to go, bro. I've never seen somebody, and it's just like, the Bengals just have to improve as a franchise. Like, you can't only have like 3 people scouting in your scouting department. Like, you can't continue. Like, the real problem with the Bengals is that they done missed in every draft. Like, every
Since
draft.
Duke Tobin took over and started to at least allegedly make the picks, yes. John has said this many a times. Very rarely during the Marvin Lewis era did they miss unless a guy got hurt or was an off the field problem. They really did miss.
The only picks that this new regime didn't fail on was the couple of them that fell in their lap. Them the only ones that they didn't miss on.
You can't even count Joe and Jamar.
Now, the only one I do give him credit for, even though he been playing like crap,
or T in the second round.
I give him credit. I give him credit for Wilson, even though he been playing like kind of crappy. But I do give him credit for him. Other than that, everybody else I
give him credit for T too.
Yeah, T Higgins. I was going to say that.
He shouldn't have been a second round pick, though.
Don't matter though. It don't matter.
Okay. But what I'm saying, and I put it on the social media pages for Factual Opinions, which, by the way, please everybody subscribe to the Factual Opinions IG, X page, and Facebook, as well as our audio platforms, because I always wait to the end. But if you're an audio listener, please sign up on Apple Podcasts, subscribe to that, as well as Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. But what I'm stating and have stated before is I think, and they're probably not going to do this, but I think the solution would be, as Chris said, you need more people in the scouting department. Because the sad part is they've added more, but it's still the smallest in the league. Louis Riddick needs to be
a GM. For sure.
You say no?
John Gruden needs to be the head coach. That is the winning combination.
I agree. You don't think Marvin?
I don't think Marvin would come back here. I thought before he left, he should have been reassigned to the front office, similar to the way Nate's Boston Celtics did. What's his name?
Brad Stevens.
Yeah. I thought that should have been, and I'll tell you when it should have been done. Not even when Hugh Jackson was here. Marvin should have been reassigned in 2013, and Mike Zimmer should have been promoted to head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree with that.
That's when that should have been done. But they would have to do a lot of ass kissing, for lack of a better word, for Marvin to come back at this point.
I'm gonna tell you this: this offseason they're gonna have they're gonna have to
They got to change everything.
oh,
bro.
they're gonna have to kiss a lot, because I'm telling you what's gonna happen. Outside of, I keep saying, they don't do nothing soon, the city ain't gonna keep paying for this stadium. Now when 10 asks for a trade, it's over. When 9 and 1 asks for a trade, it's over. They better make a decision, and they better start getting a real coach and a real franchise, and all. They better get that stuff in here ASAP.
Even before I was the self-appointed president of the Joe Burrow fan club, because I'll admit that was not something that I was on board for initially. But once I became a believer and Joe showed me, I said, and yet, well, actually, I said this even when they drafted him before I believed in it. Remember, I said he holds the future of professional football in Cincinnati. If he failed, city council was already digging in their heels. The only reason they said yes on the practice bubble and any of this is because of that taste that we got in our mouth from 2021.
Yep.
And we're all still hoping that Joe can pull that John Elway magic and get one before he leaves. Now that's if he don't get busted up like Andrew Luck, and some would argue that he already is at this point. But I agree. I wholeheartedly believe, like, if it doesn't happen with this group, I don't believe that we'll live to see one. And I could very much see the Bengals leaving Cincinnati.
10 is gonna ask for a trade, bro.
Oh, Uno is. Let me tell you something. He's gonna do it before Joe does.
Before he does, yeah. The thing about Uno's been on the field.
He's
Joe
not.
ain't been on the field.
He's not for this at all. And Joe's a little bit more quiet. But if Uno asks for it, or if T says I want to leave, you think Joe's gonna stay here without them two?
No, they're gonna ask Joe and Chase gonna ask together.
Yeah, they're going somewhere together.
No. Even if they end up in separate places, they're gonna want to leave.
They gonna walk to the office at the same time.
Come on, Joe, we going.
Yeah, bro, they're not about to keep dealing with this. Bro. No, I'm dead serious though. Like at this point, go ahead and call John Gruden and see what. And I mean, for real, John Gruden can't take you up top right now. You know what I'm saying? His name ain't the best.
Yeah, so, his name ain't the best at all.
Right now.
You want to know how bad it was?
Funny, but that's right up
John,
the Bengals.
I posted it. Did y'all see when I posted John Gruden? He was even pissed off at that Jets game.
Yeah, I saw that where he commented on it. He said, "I'm from Ohio, man," and John Gruden. That game pissed me off, man. The Jets threw for over. The Jets got over 500 yards of total offense, man, and they were last in the league.
He dirty, bro. He dirty.
Anybody that knows football, like, you hate dumb football. You hate, like, when you can tell what they're doing, what they need to do, and they don't do it, and they go against the grain. You just hate dumb football. That's just a pet peeve.
Yeah, it is. I'm just saying, like, from what I know about this game, how would John Gruden use these weapons? How would John Gruden use these weapons offensively versus how Zac Taylor? And overall football IQ, even when it comes to even when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I just believe he would have a better plan in tow than Zac Taylor. But
that's what I'm saying. I agree with that. I agree. You need a head coach that can, even if offense is your specialty, you can oversee. You can know what I want to see, or different things like, or as an offensive mind, I got to do something to keep my defense off the field. So it's how you calling your plays, how many runs you calling, this, that, another. Like, you got to keep them off the field because they're getting points.
But let me ask you something, Will. When I said Louis Riddick for GM, why did you shake your head?
I wasn't shaking my head to say that I don't think that's a good idea. I just feel like Marvin would be better. And
He probably would be. I'm
As
just
a GM, you think Marvin as a GM would be better?
I think more for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Marvin as a GM would be better.
The reason I agree with that is because not that Lewis really don't, because he understands and he said it before. He said it before. Lewis has said, "Hey, I realize the Bengals run their operations differently than any other team." But what I think Will's hinting at, and what I'm understanding, is Marvin with that inside information and working with the Brown family over all those years would have a little bit more insight on how to get it done here. Because again, people can talk about him all they want. You have to understand. We all understand because we lived through it. What the Bengals were before Marvin Lewis.
And I think that he would be trusted more just because he's been here. He's been in the trenches with him, different things like that. I think they would trust and they would remove themselves. But
can't ask, can they still win the North?
And the crazy thing is, I don't think
they can,
but they can. They can.
They can.
I think Lamar's hurt way more than what.
Yeah, I think it's something more to it than to him now. Because Lamar would have came back by now.
Then Pittsburgh defense, I mean, it ain't as bad as the Bengals, but
they can, man, because
we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and I was telling you.
The sad part is, even with everything that's gone down, they're undefeated in the AFC North right now. That's number one. Number two, they can
Pittsburgh.
No, the Bengals.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Cleveland, and just the way the rest of the division is now. Will they is a completely different story, because I'm telling you, that one hurt on Sunday. That is as close to a gimme as you're gonna get in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it was another AFC, opponent.
And it was a gimme, not just based off of the record, based off of the score. Like, they were literally doing, like, it was a comfortable game that you should have won. But outside of the last two drives, bro, the offense did everything it was supposed to do. They ran the ball. Flacco ain't take no big risks. When are they going to move Tinsley to the third wide receiver and move Yoshi
back
to the fourth or the fifth?
Listen, because nobody's talking about that.
Yoshi,
this dude has been out there bricking it up the past few games.
Yoshi Vaught has been
all
terrible.
season. All season.
Point shaving.
Yeah, he might be gambling.
Dude.
He might be gambling on catches, bro.
He point shaving.
Like, for real, like, it's and that's what I mean. Like, it's just guys that you kind of depend on to just do their job and do it right. You depend on a Yoshi, you depend on a Wilson, and when they go out there and they look completely like,
man, I'll take Chuck Jones over Yoshi at this point.
At this point, yeah, for sure.
Move Tinsley to the third wide receiver. At this point,
I don't understand why they haven't done it yet.
At this point,
because Yoshi's a fan favorite and he comes from an Ivy League school. Like,
he ain't a fan favorite no more. Like Will just said, he ain't a fan favorite.
Like Mr.
He's not
Brown.
a fan favorite.
Well, not anymore. They starting to
back
boy.
To the fucking store.
Do they have a shot against the Bears?
The Bears. Well, Caleb Williams is
he clicking right now.
Some good football.
Yeah, he clicking right now.
I have to attribute part of that to their head coach. Again, the difference that the right coach makes, in that situation.
Listen,
the Bears are way better than the Jets. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if DeAndre Swift is playing this week or not, but
it's scary to play. That's a classic, but I mean, it's.
I'm not even worried about DeAndre Smith. I'm worried about them wideouts.
But that Jets game was a classic trap game. Like, you beat the Steelers, you get an extra break. The Jets just lost against the Panthers. Then they had quarterback controversy all week. And we on a high with Joe Flacco and just beating the Steelers. So you walk into that and like I was when they said Tyrod Taylor got hurt, I said, "Oh, it's getting ugly." I told my dad, like, "Yeah, it's getting ugly." And then when I walked into my dad's house and I found out that Nick Mango died, asked my dad, I just put up my laptop and just started doing some work, man. Long day. He's sitting there chilling, laughing, joking. It's gonna be a long day, Dad. I had no confidence. I wish that if they would have beat the Panthers, like if they would have beat the Panthers, I feel like the Bengals, I feel like it would have been a better chance. But beating the, like for me, even coaching, I don't know how other coaches feel, but that 0-5 school compared when I'm playing a team that's 0-5 compared to when I'm playing a team that's 5-0, that 0-5 team scared me way worse than the 5-0 team.
Yeah, because
you don't want to be the
your
team.
players
You
are
don't
naturally.
want to be the one.
You don't want to be one of you and win. And
Your-
Brees Hall was out there getting busy
You did it at Spencer, Will.
all
You
day.
did it at Spencer
Your
last year.
players naturally, especially in today's time, take their foot off the gas in scenarios like that when you're playing an opponent like that. And I don't want to sound like one of them old jocks, even though technically we are. I just know that there was a different approach back in the day with even coaches, man, drilling you when you playing one of those teams. You know, my coach for 11 and 12 Madisonville Tigers, Coach Rogers, Dale Rogers, he always used to say when we was playing New Prospect or one of them garbage teams that we were supposed to beat. He would always say,
Hey, New
toilet bowl,
Prospect is crazy.
toilet bowl. You don't want to get caught in the toilet bowl. It's like, that's the game we playing in right now. It's like, they ain't got nothing to lose. It's like, they coming out here to beat y'all. And he always used to scream that toilet bowl. So whether it was New Prospect, there's some other teams I could name, get people upset. In fact, I'm
I
going
didn't
to
even know
name
New
anyway.
Prospect had a little league team.
They definitely did. They was in our league for a while too.
They did. They didn't have
That's when
all
New
the age
Prospect was
groups.
getting that money.
They had a team. There was them and a few other teams. I made some people mad because he would say that when we played the Evanston Bulldogs too. But
That was
you
Mingo
know,
and them.
But
cheating
I
ass
mean,
Mingo.
just take it back. Even in high school, Coach Sharp never used to say nothing. When we was playing a bad team, we would get cussed out by Sharp all week.
Before we go there, Big John. Before we go there, we'll loop back because Nate said it, so I gotta take my shot. Yes, cheating ass Mingo. My dad would never call him Reverend Mingo. He would always refer to him as Mingo specifically.
I ain't never referred to him as Reverend Mingo.
Nah, he would. On my dad's grave, he would get mad too if you tried to call him Reverend Mingo. He said, "No, that's just Mingo."
Hey, nigga.
Well, because look, this is my show, so I can say what I want to say.
You can say what you got. Go ahead, man.
Because if you call yourself a reverend or a man of God, you shouldn't be in the back of pickup trucks trying to alter and doctor birth certificates and stuff to have illegal players and so forth, which is why they initially got kicked out of the league. And the only reason they got back in the league before my dad took over as president is because cheating ass Ray Allen, who was the president of the league and the West End Jaguars at the same time, got caught up because he was using illegal players. And Mingo just happened to be on the sideline one day watching his brother, the other Mingo, the referee and the ump. Y'all know Oscar Mingo.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he used to coach Little Red Machine versus Cowboy games. I know who he is.
Yeah, so he said, that guy's illegal. And my dad said, how do you know? He said, because he's 13 and he played on my baseball team.
Oh, man.
So they caught Ray, so, it was kind of like an honor amongst thieves. So, all of a sudden the next year, Evanston got back in the league, but they were under probation, meaning if they got caught cheating at all, they would be permanently banned. But, it was...
Everybody know Cowboys cheat.
There's a reason why all of them asked Big Dave to be the president of the league. And my dad, being who he was, when he accepted that position, what's the first thing he did? Step down as president of Madisonville so there wouldn't be no conflict of interest. And my dad was the one that implemented the whole, you can check the books before every game to make sure everybody's legal.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose not to,
Oh, your dad was the one that did that.
my dad was the one that implemented that rule. Now you could say no, I don't want to, but you can't come back afterwards and say, oh, I want to. No, you had an opportunity for the game. So yeah, my dad was the one to clean up. So that's why all of them jank ass coaches that come back now and see me years later be like, man, I miss Mr. Brantley, and man, he didn't tell you no shit, but he was fair. He made sure there wasn't no cheating. I said, I know. And y'all hated him when he was doing it, but now look at you. You got this renegade D boy, you know, there ain't even no real little league football stuff. But yeah, so I'm sorry because you got me on a little rant because my dad was talking to Mingo. This was years after I think I was even in college. He was talking to Mingo on the phone because he was still using Mingo used to have a awards company where he would print off the trophies and stuff. And my dad gave him, some business, for the playoff trophies and the Super Bowl trophies for the league and stuff. But somehow the conversation came up, and Big Dave wasn't one of them to let stuff go, just like me. And he was talking about when I was 8 years old, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't Jeff Blake, and we were 9-1 the whole year. We lost the first game. The West End Jaguars would sweep the rest of the year, blowing people out. I threw for more yards than even the 13-year-olds. Ain't no cap here. You can ask DJ, all the rest of them. Isaac, my favorite wide receiver to throw to. We was beating everybody, and then all of a sudden we lost to Evanston in the playoff. After going 9-1, come to find out, they used 10 and 11-year-old players against us, a 6, 7, and 8 age group. My dad was talking to Mingo, and that came up about that year. And there was some chick in the background. I don't know who she was to Mingo. She said, let it go. And I grabbed the phone from my dad. I said, Dad, give me a phone. And I cussed her ass clean out. And I explained to her, I said, let what go, bitch? I said, at the end of the day, you don't know what little kid was on that team and didn't have the same structure at home that I and maybe some of my teammates did, that might have been the one time that they had an opportunity to be part of a winning operation in their life. And you took that away from them, and you don't know what direction that would have sent them in and what that caused, or cause and effect. And just from the standpoint of being a football player and an athlete, you took that away from us that we can never get back. So I don't want to hear no shit about let this go. I don't want to hear shit about Mingo being no reverend or nothing else. So that's my grind year segment for today. He ain't no reverend. His name is Mingo. And yes, God forgives, but I don't. So, maybe he's went on to do a lot and save a lot of kids from doing stupid stuff out in the streets. Maybe he has. I'm sure he has. But that's my recollection of Mingo and always will be. So,
Speak your piece, dog.
yeah, well, I had to get that out, man.
I felt that in the soul.
Will come
Welcome
back on
back,
camera
Will.
now.
Welcome back, William.
Why you get off camera, Will, man?
Because he grew up in Evanston.
You know Mingo or something?
Yeah, you know Mingo. He grew up in Evanston.
Man, fuck Mingo. and and I tell him to his face to this day.
Opposite opinion is Alex Bradley does not.
Tell him to his face to this day if I see him.
Man, fuck Jesse Jackson.
It ain't about where anybody grew up. It's about right and wrong. I'll be fair and leave the religious part out of it. It's about right and wrong.
Hey, I got tears right now.
That's what you do when you're tired. You get on the bus, you sit your old ass down.
And normally I try not to cuss on my platform, but the way my past.
Now you want to bring out cussing.
I try not to, and I make
Lord
it a point.
Jesus, there's a fire.
But at the end of the day, man, with the week I had, man, so what, man? I need to.
Hey, you gotta get it out. You gotta get it out. Pause.
What did he say on Harlem Nights, man? Fuck Calhoun.
Right. Hey, Will, you can come back, bro.
Come on back,
We
Will.
good now, bro. We done. My bad, Will.
Will, hey, let me be clear that the Schroeder varsity basketball coach has nothing to do with what was said or the opinions given on Factual Opinions podcast. You can attribute them all to the CEO and owner of the Factual Opinions podcast, Alex Brantley. I said them.
Go ahead and say Clark Montessori on there because it just went a little left.
And I have receipts for everything. You know, again,
We ain't got to bring up the receipts. We
this
understand. We knew
this is what gets me in trouble personally and professionally is I say what other people don't want to say or don't have the balls to say or just whatever. But like I said, it's not like I'm making any of this up, and I won't mention the person that I want to say. But before we transition, I want to say this, people. And this is just in general. This don't have necessarily nothing to do with just sports or anything else. Um, there's a lot of people that think that they get away with stuff or think that you're going to get away with it. Maybe in this life you will. And I'm not preaching and I don't care what anybody else's spiritual beliefs are or aren't, but what I go by and what I believe is God sees everything.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's perfect, but he judges intent and he judges your heart in a way that human beings never can and never will. So everything that you think you're getting away with, is they say what's done in the dark will be brought to light. Everything that you get away. Now I'm taking a shot at somebody in particular when I say this, and I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name. But if let's just say, for example, you were a police officer in your previous line of work.
Mm-hmm.
And you arrested somebody or gave them a ticket because you were upset that you were working that day or that you missed your kid's game. And you admit that years later. Guess what? God saw that. And you will have to deal with that one day. If you make false, opinionated, unsubstantiated claims against somebody just because they got on your nerves on the job or they said something that you didn't want to hear, nonetheless, if it was the truth, and you build a case against them or you fire them or you get rid of them, you might get away with it in this life. But guess what? God saw that.
For sure.
And you will have to answer to that one day. Genesis 12 verse 3 says, I will bless them that bless you and I will curse them that curse you.
Amen.
Nobody's immune to that. It will come back on you one day. Just
For
so
sure.
you know. I wanted to do that at the beginning, but I forgot and I got a little sidetracked. But just and that person knows who I'm talking about, but gotta handle that.
Brother Johnson, you still there? What's up?
Well, what
Hey,
was
man.
wrong with what I just said? Why you getting all?
Wasn't nothing
Nah,
wrong with the verse you said, bro. You spelled the verse very well. I ain't gonna hold you.
No.
I'm glad you know the book.
Me and Will was weak when you was talking about the Bengals. I'm just trying to change subject because it got a little heavy. And you was like, you got that taste in our mouth for 2021. I wanted to say pause, but you was on the roll. I ain't want to break up the moment, man. But I was weak.
Okay.
Because we all
moving on to college. Okay, because we were talking about head coaches and those that are on the hot seat and everything. So this is a perfect segue to college.
They clear shop all over college football. Clear
right,
shop.
Because I want to get to that, and then we'll wrap up so we don't hold Brother Will too long.
Oh man,
I'm just glad he's back on camera now because that was wild, man. You would thought I said something about his best friend. Hey, Will, man, look, you've known me since what, 99, 2000?
I was talking about LSU.
I just want to get something clear though. You've known me since what, 99, 2000? If nothing else about me, do I lie, brother?
No, sir.
Okay. I feel like the Fat Joe factual opinions right now. So no, we're talking about college football, and
Oh man.
we're talking about how there have been so many head coaches let go mid-season. Like I don't ever recall, to my memory, a season where there have been this many and high-profile names that we've known let go. You know, Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State, James Franklin from Penn State. Most recently, Brian Kelly got the boot at LSU, which is very funny because you know he's usually one that leaves like a thief in the night himself, but is fired. But James Franklin is rumored. I want to put this out here so factual opinions can be one of the first to get his scoop. He's rumored to be in the running for. Some people have even said it's basically a done deal to take over at Virginia Tech.
Mm.
I don't know
I
about
ain't
some
heard
of
nothing
these
about
other
that. I
coaches.
ain't heard nothing about that. That's new news.
Colorado.
You got to make a clip of that one. I need that news.
What is Will saying about Colorado?
I said Colorado might be up. So
Hey, but nah, man, it's with all this money being spread around college football, man. All these schools and teams, they trying to catch lightning in the bottle because everybody can go to the transfer portal. You can spend money for players. So if you won't get the best out of what you got, you won't have a long leash.
You know what I
So
want for Coach Prime, regardless, because he's having some serious health issues
Yeah.
right now. I almost don't even care about the football part.
I
Like
don't think he needs to coach anymore, to be
if
honest.
that happens, I mean, they got the extra blue tent there, so he can go to the bathroom as many times as he needs to go. He had his bladder removed, you know, coming. Well, I think that actually happened during the season. You know, he's got the blood
That was
clot
after the
issue.
first game.
The blood clot issue again. Okay. I know what you're saying. Will. I'm just saying I don't even care at this point. I want him to live more than I care about what he does football wise at this point. So
I'm gonna be honest about that because I honestly feel like his health, he has too many issues, and I feel like personally he doesn't need to coach football right now.
he probably doesn't. He probably needs to focus on staying alive at this point.
what am I doing?
And I don't know that the experiment is going to go exactly the way he, you know, wanted or we even thought at this point, recruiting wise. Like he's gonna get one or two players that come there just because he's prime that are in the top 5%. But as far as getting the whole team that he needs to keep that
Nah, he
program
ain't gonna
elite,
get it out
I
there in
don't think that's
Colorado.
going
Ain't nobody going to
to
Colorado.
happen.
Who wants to go to Colorado? Who wants to deal with snow half the year?
Now,
my bad, y'all. I'm looking for something to write something down, man. So we got Bronny, Shador, Dion. 3 people we can't be honest about in our community.
what are we not being honest about when I simply said
So
I don't
hold
care
on. So what
about
is hold on? What does
the
Shador do?
football part?
What's wrong with Shador?
So what does Shador do? He ain't did nothing but be quiet.
No,
Let
I'm just
Cleveland
no.
do whatever they
I'm
do.
just saying. I don't
No,
talk
What does
Kevin
Shador do?
I'm adding
Stefanski
Dion
can't
to
be
the list.
honest.
I'm
Kevin
adding Dion to
Stefanski
the
can't
list.
be honest
I'm
about
asking
Shador.
you.
Hold on,
What
we
does Shador
asking
do?
you what's wrong with Shador?
What did
There's
he do?
nothing wrong with Shador. I just said.
Ask Kevin Stefanski what's wrong with Shador. That's what I want to know.
Just saying. I'm just adding Dion to the list of people that we can't be honest about. I understand. I'm with.
What did I?
What doesn't Dion know how to do? What
What
are you saying
can
he's
we
not a
not?
good coach? Is that what you're saying?
The take that I just made was extremely honest. I said that he's not going to be able to get the overhaul for the entire team as far as recruiting to make Colorado elite or what even his own goals were. Yes, he'll be able to get a
Hold on,
quarterback
Al.
or or
I know when Will making that face. He basically saying he can't coach. That's what he's doing. That's
That's
what
not what
he's
I'm saying.
saying, Bear. That's the face he's
before we
making.
go there.
That's the face he's
I want to
making.
make sure because he said he's getting out of his list and he's writing honest. So I want to make sure that we're clear on what I'm stating. I'm stating that he's not going to be able to get the overhaul for the entire team to make it elite and win a national championship as a coach at Colorado, which was even his goal. He'll be able to get a Travis Hunter. He'll be able to get, a player here or there that wants to play just because he's Dion, but he's not going to be able to get the entire overhaul for Boulder to go there. Like a Rashad Salam or Eric Bieniemy back in the day when they won national championship. I also only said I didn't say anything about his ability as a coach. I just said at this point I don't care about that. I would honestly prefer he step down and focus on his health and stay alive because of what Dion means to me and his own family and everything else. That's all I said. I don't understand how that's not being honest when I specifically said he's not going to be able to get the entire team to be elite at Colorado.
Hey, Will, don't say nothing yet. Don't say nothing. Don't respond yet. I want to
Now,
say a couple of things before. Hold on, before you continue on. You said things. You brought up the past, talking about they can't win from the past like they did with Eric Bieniemy and all those players. They were surrounded by those players at that time in that era back then. That's a difference in Colorado that time era. Because you got to think Chauncey Billups went to Colorado too. He was from that area as well.
but look at all the players that were on the team: Michael Westbrook, Cordell Stewart, Rashad Salam, Eric Bieniemy. Like you're talking about an entire team.
Right. I understand what you're saying. Those were choice pickings around from where they were. Those were close choice pickings. They were from around that area of Colorado. They weren't far from there. So those were easy pickups for Colorado to have when they were playing Colorado football back then, when they were winning those championships and all that back then. Right now, Colorado ain't got nothing around. I was trying to refrain my mouth. Pause. I was trying to refrain from what I was about to say. But it was a difference.
And Billy Napier got fired at Florida too. We left him off.
We knew that was going to happen when he lost to Miami last year.
So there's a lot of that going around, and apparently Will thinks that Dion needs to be next. So okay, we got that out there.
Man, he can't have a job or a bladder, cuz he got to get rid of his job. Dang, Will, you messed up, bro. You can't have a job.
I didn't say that he can't have a job. I just don't like.
Hell, man.
I just don't like the fact that we can't, bruh. Like, when you start bringing in stuff like you don't want to see, like nobody wants to see anything happen to Deion Sanders or Coach Prime from a health point of view. Like nobody wants that to happen at all.
I didn't even say that was why they were losing, Will. So don't make that assumption.
That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that he's been at Colorado for 3 years. He had one winning season. He hasn't won a bowl game at Colorado or at Jackson State. Like, at some point, we can't keep giving everybody excuses.
What was their record prior to him getting there?
Oh my God. It was 1-11.
Okay.
You was giving the Bengals coach excuses.
No.
So if he become the Bengals coach, what you got to say about that?
He was
giving the Bengals
Taylor.
coach excuses until this year.
Hold on. Y'all gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
The Bengals coach won playoff games, went to a Super Bowl, and then went to.
Hold on. Did he go to a Super Bowl, or did Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Higgins go to a Super Bowl?
So did Shador
Mixon go to Super Bowl?
So are we saying that Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter made Coach Prime?
Yes, because that's where he had his best years. Yes.
Yeah, because they won at Jackson State and Colorado.
Oh, okay.
I keep it square across the board.
Okay. Absolutely. That's why Colorado retired their numbers. We got Brother Mark Flagg.
One album in 10 years. I can divide
7 to 10.
7 to 10. What did he say? One was the other was Illmatic.
One album every 10-year average.
Okay, so another thing we absolutely have to do that we get sidetracked every episode, and I don't get a chance to do, is I don't get to talk about the world famous enough on this program, which I need to do for several reasons. But they need to be talked about in general because they are the number one ranked team in America, and I need to ask the question why Julian Sayin, the Buckeyes quarterback, is not getting more consideration for the Heisman Trophy at this point. Like,
Stats.
it's become a quarterback award, unfortunately. But when I look at a guy that's completed 80.6% of his passes this year and has thrown for 1,872 yards, 19 touchdowns against only 3 interceptions, and that's with Ryan Day and offensive coordinator Brian Hartline holding him back most of the year to get acclimated coming in. He's starting to take off now. Now, I know the detractors will say, "Oh, he's got Cardell Tate and Jeremiah Smith and blah blah blah." Okay, but you still got to go out there and get it done.
But you answered your own question. It's the Ken Dorsey effect. When you have all them people around you,
Yep.
and yes, you're facilitating, and yes, you're doing a hell of a job, but they're gonna look at everything. They're gonna make every excuse not to make him one.
Yeah, but Honda McCord wasn't getting it done 2 years ago.
He wasn't.
What's their signature win?
Right now,
Yeah.
every game on their schedule.
Okay.
Stop being
Oh,
biased.
you should ask. What's his Heisman moment? That's a better question.
No.
What's his Heisman moment?
I was getting there.
What's his Heisman moment at this point?
What would be, as an Ohio State fan, what has been Ohio State's signature win so far this year?
Well, people gonna tear me to shreds for saying this, but I think the season opening victory against Texas. Now, let me explain before people jump off the bandwagon and start getting irate. I believe the carryover effect has hung over Texas all year because they didn't get less talented. The talent is still there. I just think them losing that opening game took a lot of wind out of their sails, just like we talk about certain fighters that aren't the same after they get their first loss. I think that affected Texas going forward. Now, people could say, "Oh, well, they're not number one anymore." Well, they were when they played them, and they're gonna say the same thing and make an excuse now when we play Penn State. Obviously, that's not a marquee game anymore because of what Penn State has done and James Franklin getting fired. But I also don't believe in penalizing the Buckeyes or try to detract away from what they've done to this point and continue to do. Because had they lost to any of these teams that you all believe are not good or up to snuff anymore, then what would you say? So that means that they're doing what they're supposed to do, right?
So I'm not taking anything away from Ohio State Buckeyes. I came up here gloating about the defensive coordinator and everything. I feel like the defense is better this year than it was last year. I'm just saying, for him to be, you want him to be a Heisman candidate, and their signature win, it ain't like he performed the greatest. And since then, I mean, he's completing 80% of his passes, but he's not.
Most of that though is specifically what I stated though. That was by design for Ryan Day and Brian Hartline, trying not to overwhelm him or have him make a mistake early on and ruin his confidence or whatever. Just like when people, now this is a different comparison I'm making, just like when Gilly the Kid, who, yeah, he hoops. I'm not saying he don't know nothing about sports, but when he makes this asinine comment, well, the reason I put LeBron over Kobe is because look what LeBron did as a rookie coming in right away versus Kobe, who didn't even start over Eddie Jones. Let me make an analogy. When what's my man that used to coach for the Nets in Kentucky? Calipari. He was the coach of the New Jersey Nets at the time during the 1996 NBA draft. Now, everybody says if we could do it over, we know, and no disrespect to Bubba Chuck, who was my second favorite player of all time, even he said out his own mouth, if we did the draft over, we know who would be picked number one in the 96 draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can agree on that. So Calipari said, "Do you think that Kobe Bryant didn't have a better workout than Kerry Kittles back in '96 pre-draft?" He said, "I just couldn't convince ownership to draft a 17-year-old at the time." You don't think that Kobe Bryant busted Eddie Jones in practice every day like Nick Van Exel and them admitted? Dale Harris didn't want to start a
You preach,
17-year-old.
I teach.
He didn't want to start a 17-year-old. Every time Kobe would do something fancy or get a move off, he would bench him or sit him down because he didn't want to look like he was showing favoritism to the kid. Even though Dr. Buss and Jerry West were and were telling everybody, no, this is the one. So it's an asinine argument to say, well, this is why I'm not considering him, or I don't believe that he was ready out the gate. Yes, he was. There are other factors, and now that's Ohio State's fault for not wanting to let him go, right out the gate. But I tell you this, Will, I think he may or may not have a Heisman moment. I think he may have to wait to that last Saturday in November, or
Y'all better win.
or the Big Ten championship game against undefeated
Indiana.
Indiana, who is likely going to be undefeated going into that game. And this ain't your father's Hoosiers, by the way.
So that's what
Kurt Signetti can coach.
So
if people don't know that.
He doing it with less resources and stuff than Colorado. Anyway, anyway,
John, what's your opinion on Kurt Signetti in Indiana?
You ain't gonna let me get. You ain't gonna
John, I want to know. John, stop laughing and please tell me your opinion on Indiana.
They balling, man. They balling, man. He's doing a hell of a job as what's considered a basketball school. They're playing a Big Ten, power football. They're doing a hell of a job.
Your boy,
with little to no resources.
Your boy, I can't remember his name because that's how irrelevant he is. The bald head old guy that covered the SEC for over 30 years, almost 40 years old. What's his name again?
Paul Feinbaum?
Yes, Paul Feinbaum. He said, as usual with his hating ass, well, if Indiana played Alabama's schedule, I can promise you they wouldn't be undefeated and blah, 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 and all this. I'm like, here we go. Alabama ain't undefeated playing Alabama's schedule. The SEC isn't what it used to be. That's why you got Billy Napier getting fired in the middle of the season and Brian Kelly, because they're panicking because they know they're not what they were from 2006 to 2012, which is all I'm giving them. But at the end of the day, they're not anymore. They're an average league. That's why you got Vanderbilt competing to be in the damn SEC championship right now. Because they're not what they used to be.
Or they could be having an Indiana moment.
Well, Indiana the past 3 years with Kurt Signetti is doing it. So that's my whole thing. Like, it's not like it's a flash in the pan. Like, he can coach. And even last year when people made that comment about, well, maybe they shouldn't have been in the college football playoff, Indiana finished with 2 losses last year, and they happen to be to the 2 teams that played in the national championship in Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Yep, that's a fact.
No, I agree. He can coach. He's doing a great job building that program. Like it, they're doing a good job.
I think they're legitimate. So I think Paul Feinbaum's argument was asinine until proven.
He's been wrong all year with everything he's been predicting. Even Ric Flair got on his case. 80-year-old Ric Flair got on his case about some of the picks he's been making.
Woo!
I mean, so he said Texas was gonna blow out Ohio State. So
he said it wasn't even gonna be close. And Arch Manning is the best
Ohio State
quarterback in the past 25 years.
That Alabama was gonna beat Florida State. There was a whole bunch of stuff he said he was wrong about.
But I'm saying, until proven otherwise, I'm giving Indiana their credit. And I think it's extremely hard to do because, as Will mentioned, with the lack of resources in Indiana that are usually devoted towards the basketball program there, and they really don't have a history of doing anything football wise. They got Antoine Randall, and they had one season back in the '80s where they did make it to the Rose Bowl. Other than that, you got to go back to when Lee Corso was the coach, and he he famously scored first against Ohio State playing Woody Hayes, and had his whole team take a picture in front of the scoreboard, which was the wrong
It's
thing to do
absurd.
with
It's
Woody,
absurd.
because you know what happened the rest of the
Yeah,
game
the rest of the game it was over after that.
after that. But
But
no, so I want to give him credit, is all I'm saying.
yeah, I just think for your quarterback, Michigan and Indiana, if he do good, if he have like real good games against those two, he'll be in the conversation, because it's hard to keep the starting quarterback from an undefeated team in a out of the Heisman. So he'll get an opportunity if he do that. I just don't think he has put up the passing percentage is great, but I don't think he's put up that game or those stats yet to be in the Heisman conversation yet. That's why I brought up the game against Texas. I was bringing that up because if he would have been like the main reason that they won the game, then he could have hung his hat on that. But that was kind of the defensive. That was a defensive game. But if he do good against Michigan, who y'all better beat, in Indiana, he'll get some votes.
Yeah. Well, we're playing against that freshman quarterback who, out of his own mouth, said that nobody's ever seen a freshman like him, and people said he was a combination of Cam Newton and Tom Brady. You remember that, Big John?
Yeah, I remember.
What year was he born? 2000 what?
What year was Bryce Underwood born? Somebody look at it.
I said that to say you don't pay them kids no attention when they talk like that.
Now, being somewhat unbiased, I can see certain traits where I think Bryce Underwood will be good by the time he leaves Ann Arbor. I don't know about national championships or anything like that, but I mean he's got certain skills, but also it's not like, as Big John said, it's not like he's throwing the Braylon Edwards or Steve Reston or Marquise Walker, David Terrell.
He ain't got the options up there.
Now the two running backs
He
they
may
have
be.
are pretty decent. You know, the kid Marshall from Moeller High School down
Marshall was
here,
good. Marshall was
and
definitely good.
what's the other kid that's tearing a hole in people? Number 22.
Can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Because I do want to be somewhat unbiased and talking
But and
to
the
them.
way this whole college
Haynes.
landscape, the way
Haynes.
this whole
Haynes.
college
Yes.
landscape is right now, he may not stay in Michigan. I know they gave him all that money, but he may not stay in Michigan because if he see the writing on the wall like
I don't
everybody
think
else,
Haynes gonna stay.
I don't think he's gonna stay.
Oh no.
Well, Haynes came from Alabama anyway,
Why you
didn't
say
he?
he's staying?
What did you lead with?
But how college landscape is looking right now, he gonna leave. I mean, with the portal, he may leave.
What did you follow that with?
What you,
They gave him a bunch of money.
they gave
Yeah,
hold
Haynes probably
on,
stay.
wait.
Underwood
They
won't stay.
Wait a
gave the
minute.
quarterback for Texas. Ohio State gave the quarterback for Texas a lot of money too. And he left.
Wait a minute, Mel. You live in Kansas now, man?
Yeah, he do.
Ohio State gave Quinn Ewers a bag. He left.
They're not letting him out of Michigan. He at least going 2 years.
Okay. The reason I believe Bryce Underwood is staying in Michigan is because he's born and raised in the state of Michigan. Now, he was originally committed to LSU to play for Brian Kelly. But as much as people want to talk about Ohio State paying $20 million last year, mostly to keep their own players from entering the NFL draft, and just because Ohio State has it to spend and would spend that regardless if there was a NIL or not, Michigan spent half that on one player trying to stay afloat.
That's
and I
true.
don't know that it's gonna work yet.
Hey man,
I mean, I've seen Michigan fans go against him. Speaking of Sharon Moore, and say, look, he's living off those two Ohio State, wins. And he's not, doing anything. And he said one of them was the biggest fluke of all time. That's coming from a Michigan fan
oh, so he
saying
is
that.
Zach Taylor of college football.
I said from the beginning, I don't know that he's going to be able to go in living rooms and recruit to the level of a John Harbaugh. Now, we can get into reasons why, but I just don't believe that he was going to be able to keep Michigan, winning at that level. So
I mean, I just be a filler. Be a filler till they find a person that they really want. I think John Harbaugh leaving, he gave his blessing, and you're gonna give him a couple years. If not, they're gonna find somebody else.
I know the heat is on Ryan Day though, because as Jeremy Trigg said, them good Ohioans. First of all, they don't like losing to that team up north to begin with, but the brother then got him twice. So,
Bro.
He got a little bit of leash. He won a national championship. He got a
Hey,
little
listen.
little.
A little. Yeah, I'm about to say it's a little leash.
If they beat Ohio State this year, he's gonna F around and get a statue.
I don't know if Sharon Moore is going to get a statue, but I can tell you it's going to be real hard for Ryan Day to live in Columbus if they lose this year.
It's at Michigan, but they ain't gonna lose. They got a better defensive coordinator.
See, and I almost don't even want
Is
to
it
talk
at
about
Michigan
it.
or is it Ohio State this year?
It's in Ann Arbor. I almost don't even want to talk about it until we get to that game. But I do agree, Will. I think the difference this year is going to be two things. Ryan Day realizing that he has to open it up and not tense up the way he has the past 2 years. And I think Brian Hartline will actually help with that, because I don't even know what Chip Kelly was doing last year. He was on something. As John said, he was point shaving him and Will Howard. But I think the difference is going to be Matt Patricia this year. Let me just say that, and then we'll move on and touch back as we get closer to that. Because the way he's befuddled everybody else in college football, I think he has something in store for Mr. Bryce Underwood.
all Ohio State got to do when it comes to that game is play to y'all strengths and not try to bully the bully. Play to y'all strengths, even though y'all are capable of playing more physical this year. Don't get into no grudge match and not do what you do best. Play your game. That's all they got to do.
Throw to number 4. And by the way, number 17 ain't bad either. To keep up with what John is saying. And then you discover something with that physical running back, the young true freshman Bo Jackson. Also, remember him, Nate? You was asking me about him before the season.
Which
Now, I
one?
didn't think Bo Jackson. Now, I didn't think he was going to come in and start as a true freshman, but he's taken.
Yeah, you was going against him.
Well, because there was no reason to believe he was going to start as a true freshman, but he took control and he's doing what he got to do. So I want to get out of here with 2 basketball-related questions. My New York Knicks look great out the
Not last
gate.
night.
Great is a stretch, but go ahead.
Anyway, Jordan Clarkson, pause, looks great coming off the bench contributing.
Not last night. Pause.
Why you keep saying that, Nate?
Hey, y'all scared to talk. That's funny.
Because we got immature Will on here. Did a switch it in a heartbeat. So why are you saying that, Nate?
He didn't look good last night. Pause.
all the young men in groups you've led, you childish, bro.
I never claimed to be perfect.
Y'all know I've been at Clark, so I'll be on the same mess too.
Bruh.
So
You know
Okay,
what's
you can't even talk
crazy?
about English, man.
Even though them letting the Bucks come back last night, which was
letting
crazy.
them.
Yes. They were up big in the first half, man.
Giannis went for 45.
They were up big in the first half.
Hey, let me know when y'all ready to talk about Wemby.
We'll talk about Wemby.
Yeah.
Can everybody before the basketball season starts, because we don't know how much of this we're going to be able to do, does everybody have a favorite UC basketball moment of their lifetime that they could share?
Yeah.
Nate, what is yours?
Melvin Level with the putback.
He's talking about the number 14 ranked Bearcats in 1999 beating the number 1 ranked Blue Devils of Duke, who they played in the Great Alaskan Shootout. So it was on a crazy time. What was it, like midnight or something?
Yeah, it was like 11:30 because I caught the
that
game.
happen? I remember being at B-Dubs with my brother, God rest his soul, and his best friend, my former coach, Coach Bob, God rest his soul, Bob Kenny. So they had a little bro out late, and we were watching that amazing putback. First of all, Ryan Fletcher, the former high school quarterback, throws the ball down court. Kenyon Martin, the amazing athlete, jumps up in the air, tips it to the helicopter Melvin Levitt, who's in full flight at that point, and jams it. And it was so crazy because Duke finished the regular season 32-1 that year.
We was the only loss.
Only loss was to UC that year. John, do you have a favorite UC basketball moment?
Honestly, I mean, not even a dunk. It was that game, man, because I mean, we knew we had a good team. I felt like that was going to happen. We could beat them, but I was like, man, that's Duke. You don't expect that. So just the game in general would be my moment.
I'm scared to ask Will.
Nah, I really can't. I really can't think of one, to be honest. Like,
yeah, because I was gonna say I don't remember you being a big UC basketball guy growing up.
No. I was a fan of UC. Just I was a bigger fan of Duke. But, yeah, Duke. But
you and Cookie with this Duke stuff.
You'd have thought they was both educated.
Now, Cookie was always a Duke fan. I remember that.
Hold on, Alex. I don't mean to cut you off. Mr. West, what did you just say?
Don't do it. Just okay.
You know what? Never mind.
I can see why Will like Duke. He like the Spurs. Like, don't. I mean, I like Tim Duncan, but I'm not saying I'm a Spurs guy. Like, you
trying to insinuate
why you like Duke.
Huh? What you trying to insinuate? What are you insinuating?
Nigga, that's you bougie. That you a bad bitch. What the fuck what I said, nigga? You bougie. The fuck? So you my brother, so I'm gonna say it since you wanted to be funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to mark on Buzzsprout that this is an explicit episode.
Hey, what I'm trying to say, you bougie.
Bro, you been cussing all night, Al. We just said a couple things.
You done went on a whole rant.
Yeah, you been on a whole rant. You can't
I went on a
nothing
rant
else
about a false prophet.
Okay.
Oh man, and that ain't got nothing to do with them cussing.
And then Will goes on the camera. What in the world? Why does he keep going off camera?
You was talking about old dude, and I'm talking about Will is a bad bitch. That nigga be drinking wine in the tub, and he like Duke.
And he got a piano in back. That's why he keeps the background blurred now.
He has a clothing line called "As I Sip My Wine." Nigga, like what?
Wait, you got a clothing line?
I want to know why he.
Why ain't got a shirt yet, man? I need a shirt.
Camera.
Because the shirt ain't for you.
Will, I got receipts.
It ain't at all. I need something.
Will, I got receipts. You don't have to go off camera. Even he can't lie about it.
Because you bougie. That's why you like Duke and Spurs. You bougie.
I was just
you know what? We can bring Mingo on here one day.
No. All right, we're gonna stop now. We're gonna stop.
Cause I dare him to lie to my face.
We ain't gonna do it.
All right, man.
We ain't gonna do it.
Will, come back. But I know
Why
the
did
reason
Will, you
why.
can come back, bro.
Will
Reason why.
you grew up
other
in
than-
Will you grew up in Evanston?
All jokes aside, the
Will
reason
you
why
grew up
he
in
like
Evanston? Okay, close.
all jokes aside, the reason why I can see why you like Duke and the Spurs is because you like good coaching, Coach K, and because of Pop.
Yeah, I like the pure essence of like what basketball.
So is Cookie gonna be on the staff this year again?
Yeah.
So he probably likes Duke for the same reason. The pure basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you know what's funny? He tried to tell me a few years ago that Duke was a football school, and I had to argue for Duke basketball. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, Cookie, you supposed to be the Duke fan. And I laid out how many times Duke has been to the Final Four and all the national championships and all the All-Americans and stuff. I'm like, it ain't even close. Now, I know since David Cutcliffe has got there, they made Duke football respectable, but Duke is wholeheartedly a basketball school. So let's talk about Wemby so we can get out of here.
Now, the next up, about to be the greatest basketball player of the next generation.
Go ahead, get it out the system.
I'm just saying, like.
Did anybody watch Inside the NBA when they played? No.
Oh yeah.
Nobody watched Inside the NBA. So Charles didn't say nothing.
He ain't say nothing about San Antonio women.
He ain't say nothing this time. He ain't say nothing this time.
They done ruined it now.
Hey, no. Wemby played so good that you couldn't even.
Wemby played amazing that night.
He better play good. He 8'11". He better play good.
I'm gonna say it for Charles.
Said he 8 and 11.
No, he 8'11". Nigga, he better play good.
8'11".
What did Charles say? He said, first of all, I love the San Antonio Spurs. They got the best organization in the league. It's a fantastic city. But they do I'm not gonna say it, but that's all he had to say. And I told y'all ESPN and Disney was gonna ruin that show.
I don't think they ruined it. He just ain't had his chance to talk.
Yeah, you need to watch it. You need to watch it.
He ain't had their chance. They have not cut it. They have not cut anything, and they put a disclaimer on before the show comes on. They do it like Pat McAfee.
But remember, I said a couple weeks ago, I said, look, this is how we gonna find out if the show has changed or not when Wemby, and I said it, when Wemby plays and the San Antonio Spurs.
It's the first couple weeks. Let them get their foot to do it.
You haven't seen Wemby play yet. You will understand why Charles ain't even talking. He ain't thinking about.
He's not even talking about that right now. Because Wemby been killing. Don't get me wrong.
Wemby Monk. He chilled with the Dream, and then he ended the summer with KG. Wemby is about to be the greatest basketball player to ever play this game.
Hey, you better pray.
He been killing. I ain't gonna hold.
You better pray.
Don't do it, John. Don't do it. Don't even speak it. Don't even think about it, bro.
But I'm.
It's just. That's just like we can talk about your Miami Hurricanes if we want to, John.
Hold on. First of all, y'all the one that's getting credit. Y'all jinxed it. I told y'all not to do it, and y'all did it anyway. I blame
They top 10 again. They top 10 again.
I don't care.
Did they sell churros up here?
I told y'all not to give them credit, and what did they do? As soon as y'all niggas gave them credit, they came out later. I told you. They lost
to Louisville. Louisville's always been their problem, bro.
So hold on. You telling me not to say what I was about to say about Wemby because I may jinx them. I told y'all not to talk about Miami, and y'all jinxed them.
I didn't talk about them. We just said they look good one time.
Does anybody know where they sell churros up here?
Churros.
No. I started the year dissing Miami.
You did.
Yeah. Y'all heard what Charles said, man, because I want to try some of them churros.
I'm sorry.
What are churros?
I'm saying,
that's what the women are saying. Never mind.
Gentlemen of Wemby stature don't last long because of injuries. That's hopefully he stay healthy. That's it.
That's it. Dirty Mac.
Now you trying to act like he gonna be Joel Embiid or something, man.
Joel gonna be better than Joel.
Joel Embiid, it happens.
I'm talking about the injury standpoint.
Embiid, I about to say Embiid ain't blocked three straight layups and then come down court and hit a half court three.
He didn't.
Don't put
Does
them down.
Wemby's game remind you at all? I mean, I know he's unique, but we'll say a no.
But
I was just gonna say, does he remind you of a taller Kevin Durant?
bruh, yeah, he do. Wemby is the big blue
That's a
monster.
unicorn. He's just different. He's just different.
Wemby is what I created on NBA
2K.
Live when I was in elementary school. A 7-footer that can do everything. Everything.
Durant is 7 foot. He be lying, but
last thing before we get out of here, brother. We and I appreciate you. So, who is? And I know you got to be politically correct as the coach, but is there a player that fans should be looking out for, at least going into the season, for my beloved Schroeder Jaguar?
I mean,
He don't want to say it. I know who he
It's probably my boy Zai.
No. I mean, if you look at the past couple of years, Zai's been our most consistent player, especially offensively. But I will say this year, prepare for a little more. We'll be a better and a more efficient team. The wealth will be spread.
You ignoring the question because he said player.
Well, but then again, I know Will can't or shouldn't necessarily focus in on one guy as the head coach, but I just thought maybe if there was an improved guy or a guy you looking to, take a bigger role this year.
If it's somebody I'm looking to take a bigger role, it's another senior, Jahani. I'm looking for him to step up and really work.
No, I thought Jahani was a junior.
Oh, he's a senior, and he'll play to his potential. I also have a sophomore. I have two good sophomores. One name is Antoine. He should be able to help a lot. And then I have another one. And I have another one named Rayshawn. Rayshawn should really, really help. He's a big kid, about 6'5". He should really help. As I said, we'll be spread. It's gonna look a little different this year because we know majority of the teams are loading up to stop Zai. Rightfully so, he deserved that. And if you stop him, you kind of slow us down for real, if we being honest. But we got some other players who can relieve him of some of that pressure. And we got some guys that's ready to step up. But like anything, it's gonna be up to me. It's gonna fall on coaching. If we put them in the best positions to win, they'll win. If not, we'll struggle like we have up and down years like we had the past 2 years. So all the pressure is on me. I accept that pressure, and I know it comes with the territory. It's my 3rd year back, and it's time for us to really do something. So we just got to get it done.
I'm looking for a leap forward in year 3. Is Brother Trigg still on the staff?
Yep.
Yeah, he's been quiet lately.
Yeah, my bosses, bro. I report to them.
Brother Trigg's getting quiet because he's a little nervous the order is going to be restored on that last Saturday in November this year.
I'm going to tell you this. Let me tell you this. He was cool last year because we weren't expecting that win. We don't expect to win this year. If they win this year,
you ain't gonna hear the end of it.
I might have to put on the gloves. I'm telling you, he gonna be unbearable. I'm telling you.
He was the only person that I talked to last year.
I'm gonna tell you this. Game. You ain't gonna want to talk to him.
No, you ain't gonna want to talk this year.
Him and Courtney Brown was the only people I talked to after the game.
You ain't gonna want to talk to him this year, bro. I'm telling you.
Me and Triggs might have to go live this year during the game.
29th, right?
Yes.
It's always after
we play the 28th.
It's always after Thanksgiving.
Obviously, I got some things to figure out to take precedent. So I hope everything's in order by then. But yeah, so I want to appreciate and thank everybody who stopped by. Again, if you couldn't listen to the whole episode, the video will be on YouTube. Audio files will be uploaded to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. This is I am Pharaoh checking out with the Brown, Bruce Wayne, Big John,
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best, Nate,
You know it.
and G Money, aka Will Johnson. I want to apologize for my rant earlier that may have offended everybody. Will goes out again. I'm apologizing for my language, and
You know what? I apologize for my outburst.
now again, nothing I said was false or
my
wrong, but I just should have showed better restraint. But then again, we live in America. This is my show.
This is
You
America.
know. Well, Will must know him personally or something, man, because
I told you earlier. He grew up in Evanston, bro.
he grew up in Walnut Hills, and it's next door to Evanston. He must have broke bread with him or have some youth program or something, with him. But again,
You just sound like Larry June, real quick.
call me on my facts if I'm lying.
Hey man, I'm about going to eat my dinner.
Appreciate y'all, man. We out of here.
Yes, sir.
All right.